Hello, SFUVA and Bay Area Hospitality Group. As you know, I am Mike Maurer. I am with the Julia Morgan Ballroom and representing the San Francisco Unique Venue Alliance. I am here in sunny Maui, and I am not able to join you today. However, that's not true. I had a leg injury and I am unable to join you, but I am there in spirit. I wanted to thank Phoebe and Alex at Melody and Escape the Routine. We have a great panel today, headed by Alex Bastain from the Hotel Council, Joey Nevin, Barbara with the Via Hotel, Tara Porter from Live Nation, and Allison from the Fairmont Hotel, in talking about how venues and hotels can partner together for stronger alliances, which the Bay Area Hospitality Group and the San Francisco Unique Venue Alliance is. We are here in that spirit to have the community of hospitality in San Francisco together and get together to be stronger, refer folks, and generally come together. I'm going to pass it off to Phoebe, who will tell you more about Melody, and I look forward to seeing you at the Great American Music Hall in February with the kickoff, as we've done in years past. So thank you for a great 2025, and see you soon.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex Tatum. I'm with Escape the Routine, and we operate the Melody. I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming out, and really just a big thank you to Mike and the SFUVA community. We joined it about a year ago, and it's been great, and this is the least we can do, and it's just great to have everyone into the space. I want to thank Comestible Catering for the food that they brought out today, SFCC for the drinks, Sia Coffee, Bright for the furniture. It's really a dream team, so thank you guys. And everyone that's with the Melody, if you guys want to raise your hand, just if you guys have any questions or roaming around, feel free to say hi. And yeah, thank you guys. I'll hand it back to Phoebe. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Later, we're going to have some great projection art in the space. We have Lance that's up in the balcony with Mad Alchemy. So, thank you to everyone that's making this happen.
Alrighty, now to jump in today's panel. As you can see, we're going to be talking about being stronger together, venue and hotel collaborations in San Francisco. Today's panel is all about how venues and hotels across the city are teaming up to elevate the guest experience and strengthen our hospitality community. Leading the discussion is Alex Bastain, president of the Hotel Council of San Francisco, born and raised right here in the city, and now helping guide the hotel community out of the pandemic's challenges and into a vibrant new area. Joining Alex for a panel on stage is Tara Porter from Live Nation and Allison from the Fairmont San Francisco, representing the Nob Hill group. And they're here to talk about reviving a timeless collaboration model for today's audience. Additionally, from the South of Market group, Joey Nevin, who will be here in a bit, and Giants Enterprises, and Barbara with Hotel Via will be here and sharing about how they, an idea that started before the pandemic, that has evolved into a thriving partnership in the SOMA scene today. The panel will run until about 5 o'clock, followed by a potential Q&A if we have time for it. Feel free to stay with us until 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have food, we'll have drinks, and thank you all for being here so much. And now I'll pass it off to Alex.
Thank you so much. And wow, what a great turnout, what a great venue. Let's give the people that put this on, Mike and the whole team, a round of applause. We have a very exciting panel. I want to call up Joey, Allison, Barbara, and Tara because let's get started. There's so many great things to talk about, and the sooner we get done, the sooner you can ask some questions, and the sooner you can have a drink. Hey, what's up, Joe? For those of you that may not know, we are so lucky, obviously, to have such a all-encompassing sports team like the San Francisco Giants in our city, because the Giants, of course, are known for baseball, and we always want to root for the home team. Of course, they've won a lot of championships. We like to rub it in to some of our competition. right? Give them a round of applause, the Giants. Yeah, let's go Giants, right? But here's the thing a lot of people may not know. It's really all the things the Giants do in addition to baseball that make such an incredible difference. And that's the concerts, that's the partnerships. I was actually at Oracle the other day and I was golfing. I'm terrible at golfing, but the events that bring money to each and every one of you. In fact, when we had Dead & Company in town at Oracle, the hotels were packed to the brim. We were #1 in the country. And it's so often the case, whether it's Metallica, whether it's Green Day, that's really all the work Joey's doing. And what's so great is that there is a unique opportunity today to talk about something that's happening at the grassroots level between Joey, of course, Barbara, the Hotel Luma, the Hyatt Place, SOMA. And Joey, can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you're doing collaboratively in a neighborhood that the Oracle Park Arena is in?
Sure. Thank you, Alex, and hello, everyone. It's great to be here. I have to say it's my first time at this venue. Beautiful. As a San Francisco native, I have not driven by this corner and this street that often, so it's nice to be in here and see it, and thank you for having us. Alex, and don't sell yourself short. Your swing wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
We did have 5 days of a 9-hole golf course that we created at the ballpark, so we're always trying to do fun things like that is in complement to the engine that drives everything, the baseball play on the field. And Alex, I know we're going to get into it, and Barbara, and as you said, the Hyatt Place and Hotel Luma counterparts, it really comes down to, and we'll get into the detail, but just the idea of collaboration, teamwork, and working together to make San Francisco as appealing as possible to everyone, to our visitors, to planners, to people looking at the city for any number of things. And the more that we can do together and attacking that and approaching it in that San Francisco first mindset and bringing our positives to the table and complementing offerings of others, I think is what we're here to do at the Giants, and we've, I think, begun in SOMA, and we have a model from our friends up on the hill here that I'm sure you'll hear about more in a moment.
You know, it's all about working together to put our city first. There's no group that does that more than the Unique Venue Alliance, and I want to give a shout out to Mike and all the community building he does. Barbara, what did it take to partner with the Giants? I know that the hotel is right next door, but it's so forward-thinking to kind of do that regional approach. What are your thoughts on that?
Can everybody hear me?
We have extra
okay.
microphone.
Now can everybody hear me? Okay. Well, we were the first hotel in that neighborhood. And so the Giants were out there, and there were no other hotels around there. And then suddenly we built a hotel there. And so, but we built a small hotel, and I think the first thing that ever happened, I went over to talk to Larry Bear. I was having a meeting with him, and he said to me, go see those guys at Enterprises. So I went to see the guys at Enterprises, and suddenly it became very apparent that what we didn't have, they had, and what they didn't have, we had. We had places for people to sleep. They had fabulous places for people to meet. And so this whole idea of like creating something in a neighborhood that was really an emerging neighborhood, that our whole neighborhood down there is, and it's still emerging. It's still kind of a new neighborhood. And so all of a sudden, I think the Warriors like nailed it, right? Strength in numbers. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, if we all get together, now we have places for people to sleep. We only have very small meeting space. They have fabulous meeting space. Suddenly Forbes called Oracle Park the most beautiful ballpark in America. So now we have the most beautiful meeting space in America, right? There was everything going for us. And then lo and behold, another hotel opened, and then another hotel opened. So now we could really expand. And so what it was kind of redefining the self-contained idea but bringing people to a whole new part of San Francisco. And so it just seemed to make sense, like to create this environment and this wonderful thing. Also the transportation, we're at the hub of all the different transportations. And so it's easy to get there from the South Bay, it's easy to get there from the airport, it's easy to get there from the ferries, it's easy to get there from everywhere. Everything just seemed to make sense, and when you can look at what you have and what you don't have, and then look at your neighbors and say, well, they have this and they don't have this, then everything comes together and kind of makes sense.
You know what's so unique is that the ballpark is 25 years old, and it still feels like day one when I walk in there, and I think it feels like that for many of us. So that's such a good opportunity to really capture that. And we also have another very iconic neighborhood. It's a much more like well-known neighborhood from the past, which is Nob Hill. And I personally, I love going to watch comedy at the Masonic. And I know that, Tara, you all are doing so much with really bringing in some incredible performers. Tell me what you're doing over there at Live Nation in partnership with some of the hotels there, whether it be the Fairmont, the Mark Hopkins, Stanford Court. We don't like to admit it, but Ritz-Carlton is included too, I believe, and soon to be the Huntington Hotel.
Yeah, well, hi everybody, thanks for being here. We really started the Nob Hill, it used to be called the Nob Hill Connection. So years ago, when the convention center was going to be under construction, all the hotels tried to partner to have some of the business stay in San Francisco while the convention center was under construction. So the connection has been around for more than 10 years, maybe 15. So it was going, it went away with the pandemic, and we just decided that we really needed to bring it back together. When we all work together, we can sort of keep the business in San Francisco. Yes, we have Moscone, which we love, and we want to bring the rooms there, but if they want to look at something outside of that, or if it's full, we're able to keep things in San Francisco by combining with the hotels. And what is more recent is we are including Grace Cathedral and maybe even the University Club, and really trying to think outside of the box for people and create an experience. So we're calling it the campus right now, and creating a community aspect of all self-contained on one hill, or one block, sorry, in San Francisco. So it's just about
it could be just one hill. We are up the hill.
We are the hill, yes, atop Nob Hill. But we're really working together to try and, San Francisco Travel has been very supportive as well, bringing some leads together that maybe they might miss because it's not enough space to have the rooms and meeting spaces with the rooms. We're able to have the main event space at the Masonic, and then the sleeping rooms and breakouts at the hotels, and a reception at Grace Cathedral. So that's what we're doing.
Well, I'm really excited about the gingerbread house at the Fairmont. It's coming up. It smells so nice in there. How does the Fairmont partner with Live Nation, and how are you doing the regional approach in Nob Hill?
Yeah, so the gingerbread everybody display is being revealed November 22nd. So please come check it out. It started to smell like Christmas in the kitchens, I believe, in July. So please bring your friends and family. So, I mean, Tara and I really work pretty closely with one another, and of course my team and Tara's extended team. You know, if we receive an opportunity that we know is too big for our hotel, and or just we don't have the meeting space, or you know, the guest rooms, you know, we'll reach out to Mark Hopkins. Hey, can we do an overflow? Do you have 25 rooms? You know, really trying to make it work with what we have property-wise, partner-wise on the Hill, rather than just turning down the opportunity, keeping the business in San Francisco versus seeing it go to another destination is really kind of key and what we've been focused on. Probably in the past year and a half, you know, post-COVID, I feel everyone was just trying to figure their property out, figure their business out. Where are we going? What's going on? So I feel like we're kind of past that stage, and we're kind of now focused once again on the Nob Hill campus.
There's no question we withstood some tough times, and this is a resilient bunch, all of us. And what you're hearing about in the neighborhood approach is not a replacement to citywide conventions. Quite the contrary. Citywide conventions, international travel, that is the lifeblood of our city and our industry. And SF Travel does such an incredible job as do so many other partners, and all of you. This is an additional option to provide people, in addition to citywides. How can we explore regional approaches as well? And it's very cutting edge. I'm really curious what it takes to market something like this. And I'm really curious in the big picture, but also kind of in the liturgy of it. How do you go about in marketing a regional approach? Joey?
Well, we haven't started, so I'm going to defer that. I have thoughts, and Barbara and our crew does. I want to defer to the Nob Hill crew. We've taken a lot of lessons from them, and we're going to do it on our own way. But you guys have, it's in the market, and you guys have done an awesome job. I'll defer to you, and then we can kind of compliment how we're going to.
So I basically just started doing stuff, and I've asked later. I figured that people would let me know if it wasn't okay once I started. But really, one of the biggest challenges I think that over the years that has happened when we've tried to bring this together and it goes away is we all, especially on Nob Hill, every hotel and Live Nation, everybody is a big different corporation, and so it's challenging to work with all of the different companies to bring together for one aspect. So we have worked with DMCs in the past, which have helped, and they can sort of be the conduit between the two. We decided to host an event about 2 months ago called the Nob Hill Campus, and we created our own experience for Nob Hill to show and invited planners to come register at the Masonic, see the conference setup in the auditorium, lunch, expo hall, then walk them across the street to Grace Cathedral to show the space in there. I don't know if anybody's ever been in Grace Cathedral, but it's insane and you can rent it for events. And then we had the Huntington Park. It's an amazing outdoor space that's right there, and it's ran by San Francisco Parks and Rec. So we created our own event to start bringing people here and sort of get the momentum going. So very grassroots, just making it happen, and hopefully more will come. Because of the different various corporations, there's maybe some red tape, but we created a landing page through our website to at least have a place to send people, and then we're just sort of having the leads trickle out from there.
And we're happy to have Tara run with that. So thank you, Tara. No objections on our end.
To create the map. I mean, I saw the Giants one earlier, but creating the map to really showcase that we put together a sizzle reel and just started it, and then we can maybe improve upon as we move on.
Well, necessity is the mother of all inventions, and we need to do this now more than ever. As we are rebuilding, things are heading in the right direction in our city. Now is the time to really have everyone have their foot on the gas. And that's what strikes me as what's happening here regionally in our neighborhoods. I do have to give a shout out to Mike and the team at the Julia Morgan Ballroom as well, because they're doing something very similar with the downtown hotels also. And it's so beautiful to see, because all of you are learning from each other, but you're also all inventing and innovating. And you're putting the unique touch on that. Barbara, tell me a little bit about how you feel that the neighborhood has changed over the last few years, and what kind of things can really stand out about the neighborhood for a focus of a self-contained?
Okay, so yeah, the neighborhood was already changing dramatically ever since they came into town, right? And so the one thing that we realized when we opened our hotel was when we were building our hotel, the Chase Center wasn't even supposed to be there. It was just going to be, it was going to be somewhere else. And so there was no Chase Center there. But we did know that it was full of technology companies. So already we knew we had the giants and these technology companies. And so kind of the marriage of sports and entertainment and technology became our focus. Because always when you're trying to create something and set yourself apart and identify yourself, you have to have some sort of identity, right? So here we were at the intersection of sports, entertainment, and technology, right? Okay. And so this became our market. This became our niche. This became, and so that's how we started thinking about that neighborhood. And then it grew and grew and grew. And then all of a sudden, 2.5 years after we opened it, the bubble popped and the whole city came closing down. And that was the end of that. So we're kind of in that place of rebuilding again. We still have the sports, and now we have the Chase Center on top of that. Now we have a whole nother set of technology, which is AI. And so we have this, we know what all the pieces are, and now we have to figure out how to put all those pieces and how you go out and market to them. We did something right after things started coming back from COVID, where we hosted a group from Helms-Briscoe, and we did the sleeping rooms, and they did the meeting space over there for them. They loved it. And so that was going to be our approach, just start inviting people over to have this experience between them and us. If you take them up on the roof of the hotel and they look over there and say, there you go, there's your meeting space, and here's where you sleep, and that's where you go to meet, and here's where you go to sleep. We did this, and this is before we had the other two hotels. We created a little marketing piece like this that was redefining the conference and meeting experience, where we talked about first about our rooms and then about the giant space. And so we did something that co-branded. We did the same thing. The Giants were nice enough to give us lend us digital assets, so we were able to do it online also. So we're able to push all that out. And so now as the neighborhood grows and we know who we are. We know exactly who we are, and we know what is appealing in our neighborhood, because besides having the most beautiful meeting space ever over there at the ballpark, we have, and having 3 hotels that now we can accommodate many, many hotel rooms. We have great restaurants. Restaurants are starting to come up over there. Thanks to these guys, we have some brand new restaurants in there. So it is just knowing who you are, knowing what you have, and then knowing who your audience might be, and going after that audience.
Thank you. Excellent, Barbara. And I would just say to your earlier marketing question, and to compliment Barbara, the approach that we're taking, again, is additive to what the great offering San Francisco already has. You mentioned citywides, but other, fantastic hotels that have self-contained programming. And we're not looking to take anything away. It's looking to be supportive, to be complementary. And I think, it really has to be the right group. And I think our goal with the marketing is to make it easy, to keep it simple, but we need to tell the story about proximity. I mean, literally how close we are, that you may be walking that same distance, in some conference centers or large hotels. And so just trying to be visual. My team knows this. They see them in the back. I mean, it's being capturing as much imagery, and we got drone shots yesterday. Like, we're trying to customize these pieces to make people say aha, and to really visualize and tell the story. I think we're going up against other properties and opportunities that are kind of pretty contained, and they're right there, and it's an easy to tell the story. So we need to do our own job there and make it impactful, and show the variety of opportunities that we have that are unique to us, that are going to be different to Nob Hill and to others. And I am confident we're going to get there. And the groups that we've begun pitching this to, we borrowing that campus theme, have really almost grasped it right away, because it is like, you're going to venue, everything sitting within a square mile. You have eat, drink, play, learn, ball game. I mean, you have everything kind of right there. So it's just really finding the right combination, the right time of year, but again, trying to simplify it, and then work collaboratively to not everything's going to be a perfect fit right away, but to find out what those nuances are.
Most definitely. I have a follow-up for you, Joey. You're born and raised in San Francisco like myself, and we've seen this before after the '89 earthquake, the 2 tech bubbles. They count us out, and we always come back better and stronger than before, and it has a lot to do with our neighborhoods. What is it about San Francisco's neighborhoods that really resonates so well when it comes to taking this very new approach?
Pride. I think many of us, and many that are native or not, I mean, if you are in San Francisco, I think you understand the distinct neighborhoods and the charm, and you can feel it when you go from one to the other, and you're looking at 2-block difference, but you understand and can get that aura is different, and the feelings are different, and the what's around you is just a unique feel. And so I think, we're small, 7 by 7, but when you really break it down to non-native locations that people go, 2.5 by 2.5, that's where a lot of people are visiting. And so, it just, so that when you can distinctly tell the difference between those neighborhoods and feel the different districts, I think it evokes that sense of pride for people that spend a lot of time there. And I think we embrace that here in San Francisco. And so the idea of to build around that, and I think that's what we're doing here. That's what Mike's doing. That's what we're all looking to build our own brand. And I think that really resonates with our visitors. So the people that are coming to the town, to San Francisco, to be able to tell that story, and it gives it a unique edge. It's frankly something new for those that are selling the city, or looking at what's new and sizzle points to be able to put out there. And I think we're going to continue to try to embrace that, and as new venues and opportunities and attractions and things arise, and partners that are in the area and doing things, we want those to all be part of the bigger offering.
Most definitely. Allison, you have such an iconic property, the Tonga Room. So many things about the Fairmont are really memorable when you go there. How do you, not that you need that much help, but how do you sell Nob Hill as a neighborhood destination in the regional approach when you're working with Terra, Live Nation, and others?
Yeah, in San Francisco, I feel like there's a neighborhood for every group, everybody, something for everybody in San Francisco, and it just really depends, what do they want? Do they want a bit of a different experience up the hill? Do they want to be closer into the mix of everything down the hill? And it's just really kind of finding that right group for the right property. Do they want to go to the penthouse and have an iconic experience where we've hosted most presidents and it's the largest suite in San Francisco, or possibly the Tonga Room where it rains literally indoors? And it's just really finding that right piece of business that we can overflow to the other properties on the hill. And, once again, like if we can't take it, who can take it? And if it's not on the hill, is it maybe somebody down the hill? And, I really encourage people in San Francisco to just work with one another, right? Like the city is coming back. We took, a brutal hit with a lot of media in 2023. Everything's on the up and up. But keeping it in San Francisco is so important. I hope that answered your question.
Most definitely, and that was such a working together to put the city first approach. Basically, if it's not fitting in the neighborhood, it could still fit in a different part of the city. Tara, we talked about this briefly before we took the stage, but how do you make a determination of who to book when it comes to a particular event, whether it be the Masonic or elsewhere?
For like which group would fit in our
Yeah.
Masonic thing. I think it just is helpful to know, obviously, about the client, but then what we have to offer. So when we've been pitching this recently and get people to come to the site, really knowing our audience of who's coming and then what properties we have. So when we bring people to the Masonic and we put on the lights and show them and talk about what artists have been there and that type of thing, and then walk them over to Grace Cathedral and talk about there, and then end at the Tonga Room with a cocktail or mocktail situation, you're really embracing what that area has to have. If we have different people coming from, I book the Fillmore as well, or my team books the Fillmore. If people are coming from out of town, obviously the iconicness of the Fillmore and the 60s and all of that, you really embrace that and lean into who you're bringing to your site.
Yeah, definitely. That was such a good point. And it feels different when you're in the Fillmore, when you're in the Masonic. It just has a different vibe, and yet it's all the same city. And finding a way to be creative with that is so cool. This sounds really great, and it's amazing. But like with anything, whenever something's new, there can be potential obstacles. This is open for the group. What, if any, obstacles may there be in creating such an approach, and how do you overcome it?
I can take it, and then you guys can jump in. Well, lining up availability, I think is the biggest factor. You know, I might have the dates, but she might not have the dates, and is the group flexible? That's the biggest number one thing, I think, and challenge that we are still figuring out, to be honest. And the pricing, like, is the pricing something that's within the group's budget? You know, it's a little bit more expensive to maybe do something creative and out of the box, but that's what makes it fun, is it is creative and out of the box versus just, you know, a big, not to knock big boxes, but it's something a bit different, right? And there are those special groups that do want it, but I think just lining up availability is probably the biggest challenge that we come up across.
That's where I'm going to call in the DMCs, event planners. You'd be a great conduit. Kennedy Events, PRA, I don't know who else is here, Key Events. Everybody, you can sort of be the conduit with the help of SF Travel, right? SF Travel is really managing the hotel aspect, which is amazing, and then bringing in somebody to sort of work everything together to make it more seamless for the client, so it doesn't seem as daunting for the client to match all of the properties up together.
That's when you get the call about the room block, and there's a citywide, and we don't have that many rooms to go out, but that's a good sign too, right? Because the city is starting to get busy again. Barbara, any thoughts?
Well, I think that, again, I think it's careful coordination. And it's all of us being willing to work together. Because if you are really a team, you're going to find a way to work together. And so it takes careful coordination, and it takes a willingness to work together. And I'll say this too, and I'll say what everybody else is saying. Whatever we do in our little hood down there benefits the city as a whole. Because if people can find a really exciting and new way to come to San Francisco, like there's a whole new generation of people out there now coming to San Francisco. These new companies, the new things that are going on. It's a whole different thing, and they're looking for something exciting, and they're looking for something super cool. And if we can say that we're doing that. But yeah, I think that the biggest thing that you have to do, and everybody in your group has to have a commitment to, is coordinating, working together. And the best thing is that if you can't accommodate all the rooms, well, I mean, they can accommodate all the space because they have fabulous space, and not only at the ballpark, but the pier and everything else, that they can always accommodate the space. But the best thing is that if our little group right here can't accommodate the space, then we're going to have spillover into the other hotels, and everybody is going to benefit from it. The whole, South of Market is going to benefit from it. And so I think that coordination and willingness to be, a partner is the big thing.
Definitely. Joey, any thoughts on that?
Would echo both those points, and I'd say just continuing to be in a service mindset, understanding what our clients want, and delivering on that, knowing what's easy for us and our partners, but putting ourselves in their shoes, and continually keeping things fresh. And it's an effort to be able to make sure that those marketing pieces